All right, y'all. We got top 10 tight ends by Jackson Kruger himself. Already seen Isaiah Likely was on here. Travis Kelce's gonna be on this list. I know Travis Kelce has had a down year, but he's gonna still be on this list. Um, let's see, LaPorta gonna be on here. Uh, Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu is like in that. David Njoku. Um, is Mike Gesicki a top 10 tight end? I think he could be. I don't know. Like I think it's a bunch of elite. I think it's a bunch of good tight ends. I don't think it's a bunch of elite tight ends. Trey McBride, George Kittle, obviously, um, Brock Bowers. Okay, never mind. It's a lot of good tight ends. It's a lot of good tight ends. Now that I'm starting to think. Said Ertz. I got a lot of respect for Zach Ertz. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Still, hey, he came back this year, right? He didn't retire, did he? Let's see.
All right, back with another.
I wish we could.
Top
I wish we
10
could say Kyle
list
Pitts.
here. We
Wish
are
we
going
could.
top 10 tight ends. And to be honest, it was a little bit difficult to fully figure out 10 tight ends. I think that there is kind of a bit of a lack of tight ends in certain areas, but ultimately, I do feel good about
It's
these 10
good
as
tight
a
ends, but
group.
I don't think it's a lot of
Let's
elite
just go
tight
through the
ends
list starting off.
like how it is with other
And
positions.
I decided to go Jonnu Smith to start
Okay, I got one
things
on there.
off, which if you have not watched very many Miami Dolphins games lately, especially towards the end of the year, which fair enough, the Dolphins weren't a horrible team last year, but weren't a great one either, did miss the playoffs. Smith was a real important piece for that team. He really was. He's been weird where he's had some, had some years where he's been not great and kind of, wasn't great with the Patriots when they gave him a big amount of money. But ultimately, I think for the number 10 tight end, I feel like he's a fine addition to this list. I don't know if I'd put him too much higher than that, and I do feel like there is maybe a tier gap after 9. But yeah, he was a good tight end. I'll put him at number 10. Next up, I am going with Travis Kelce, whose statistics were honestly kind of shockingly similar to each other.
Dang, Travis at 9. I understand he had a down year last year. That's tough.
Last year, ultimately, I still think there are things he does very well. I still think he does a lot of little things well in the receiving game, especially with setting guys
Like
up.
9 is
Knowing
low.
how to get open against zone, but there's just no getting around it. Like he just
So 1 and 2 is gonna be Kittle or Bowers, and that'll be wild if I see a rookie at number 1. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be wild.
been as good. And while he was great against Houston in
Mark
the playoffs,
Andrews.
he then was not great
That's
in
another
the
one.
final 2 games.
McBride.
Kansas City Chiefs.
McBride gonna
If
be
you look
top
at the
3
numbers,
for
so
sure. I don't know
for
where
pretty much his entire
how he gonna do
career,
it, but
he
he gonna be
had
top 3.
12 yards per catch or over. Last year it fell to 10.6, and then, or I guess 2 years ago it fell to 10.6, and then last year it fell all the way to 8.5 yards per catch. That is a pretty massive drop off. Also, only 823 yards. Hey, you'll take that for a tight end, but that's the lowest of his career, not counting his rookie year. That's not a lot.
Goedert.
Only 3 touchdowns.
Goedert is
That's
another
the
good
lowest
one.
of his career, not counting his rookie year. So, because of that, it just wasn't it wasn't a good year. That being said, he's still, I think, a very good receiving tight end. I just don't think there's too much else that he can do right now, and he can block okay. He just, quite frankly, he's someone who you can't be having out there as much as the Chiefs have him out there. So that's why he's at number 9. Number 8, I'm going with a Baltimore Ravens tight end. Will he be the only Baltimore Ravens tight end?
I'm not mad at that. Isaiah Likely been a top 10
Again,
tight end.
the stats aren't going to wow you, right? Only 477 receiving yards.
I'm not mad at that. But I don't know if I put him over Jonnu Smith right now. Talent wise, I think Likely can be a top 5, top 3 tight end. I do think he can be. But is he top 10 right now? I don't know. Maybe we could swap out Jonnu. And then we'll see who's left off this list. We're gonna see who's left
But
off.
ultimately, I just think he's good. Like,
Bro, have they been discussing putting Johnny Wilson at tight end, or is he still staying at receiver? I hope he retires a receiver, bro. I hope they don't do him like that.
when I watch him, I just think he's a
Imagine
good
Pitts
player,
makes it.
and he doesn't get the
That'd be
opportunities
wild. I'm not
that
gonna lie.
everyone else on this
I
list
thought about
gets.
that.
So because of a guy who we'll talk about later on in this video, I guess I spoiled if another Baltimore Ravens tight end will get on this list, but that's besides the point. Yes, I do think that he is very good. I
Two
think
Baltimore Ravens
is
tight ends on
great.
this
And I think
list.
just given more opportunities, we'd really
You about to get
come to see
released.
just
That's
how good
tough.
he can be. Number 7 on this list is a Super Bowl champion, Dallas Goedert, who, very similar to Likely, the numbers aren't going to wow you. Now, he's weirdly gotten like less yards.
He just
each of the
spoiled
last
it.
4 years. He had 830 in 2021, and then it's slowly gotten lower. He's had some injuries in there as well. But ultimately, I do think that he's another guy where, again, it is worth mentioning, he was banged up last year. So only 496 yards, but that was
Goddard
10
good,
games.
productive.
So, honestly, he was kind of similar to where Kelce and Jonnu Smith would have been yards-wise anyway. But also, like, again, he's just
How?
not asked to do the stuff that those other guys are asked to do, and maybe that's a knock on him. But I think he's really good. I think it's just the situation. They don't need him to do that. A.J. Brown's going to...
I think when we look at it, when we look at the landscape of tight ends, it's not a bunch of elite tight ends. Like let's be real. I think we can still put Travis in the top 5. Yes, he may not be top 3 right now, but I think he's the top 5 tight end. Down season, understandable. Brock Bowers, obviously top 2, top 3 tight end right now. George Kittle, Mark Andrews is in there. Trey McBride is in there. Jonnu Smith, David Njoku. That's 7. Somebody's getting left off this list. And then who did we just see? David Njoku got to get on there. Dallas Goedert and Travis. Dallas Goedert, John. I don't know. So after them, I don't know who else. Oh, LaPorta. Excuse me. That's 8. Excuse me. Yeah, LaPorta. What's the tight end from the Bills? You could probably throw him in there. He ain't really go crazy this year though. I do like Gesicki. I'm not gonna lie. Like as a receiving tight end, I like him a lot. Kincaid, you could probably throw him in there. It's a little interesting. It's just a little interesting.
to get the one-on-ones if they're having those one-on-one situations.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
could
try and
think
run
of
the ball a lot. He's gonna be
fairly decent
exhausted
amount.
having to run
Tight
the
ends
ball
better than
left and right,
Goddard.
As opposed
But
to
again, it's not to
run
discredit him.
routes.
I think
But
he is good.
ultimately, not that running routes is easy, but it's just easier than blocking a 300-pound guy, right?
Goddard
but
ain't
ultimately,
likely.
he's a tight end who can do everything really well, and because of that, I'm going to keep
He had a
him
sophomore
number
slump.
7 on the list. Number 6.
Their offense went to Sam LaPorta. That's official. Their offense went to, it was like, all right, we're gonna throw the Diggs, and then throw the Kincaid, and then it went to, all right, we're just gonna be balanced, completely balanced. That's kind of how it felt. It didn't feel like it. He wasn't like, they removed the idea of having a primary target in that offense. Completely removed it.
Still go Sam LaPorta, who, it's funny, we kind of talk about him as though he had this like massive step down in year 2 after this awesome year 1, and that's because he started off slow in year 2, but ultimately, again, had 889 yards last year or 2 years ago, and then last season he had 726. So like, it wasn't that far down. It was a step down for sure, but ultimately, like, I still think he's a really good player. I still think he runs these routes really well. Like, again, I just think that he's I don't know. I just think that he means so much to this Lions offense, and I do think that he's a really nice piece for them. Is he the most important piece? No, but I do think we're getting kind of more to these guys that are really relied on now,
Like top 5.
and also are consistently playing well.
Hey.
That is also the case of my number 5 pick.
Oh,
Player
TJ
who used to
Hockenson.
play for the
What?
Lions got traded to the Vikings, and I think
Hold on, bro. He's finna leave somebody good off this list for sure.
has been a very good player for both franchises he's been a part of. Another guy coming off of an injury, so the numbers aren't crazy last year, but the year prior he had 960 receiving yards.
I forgot about
Tight
TJ.
end
TJ
is also a good
TJ
blocker,
him.
so
That's
he
a good.
is
That's a
ultimately
very good
someone
tight
who
end.
I think is a really good tight end who can do several different things for Minnesota. So that's why I have him at 5. Number 4, I am still going Mark Andrews, who you could argue this is too much. I mean, again, he had that 1,300 receiving yard season back in 2020.
Evan Engram didn't make it. Evan was injured a decent amount last year, but no, for sure, that's another one. That actually is another one. I think Evan Engram is a top 10 tight end. Actually,
That
I did not.
And again, kind of similar
Wasn't
to
coming to
Kelce,
mind.
it's almost like those two guys are splitting time now, so it's hard to fully measure
Ertz
them.
3.
But and
I would
again,
take
I
Ertz
think the
over
other thing
likely
not to
right
mention
now
with
because of
Andrews is just the
production and
offense.
who
Like,
he is.
well, he did drop that pass
But
at the goal
I do
line.
think
That wasn't
likely,
ideal. Was not ideal, and
you know, in the
absolutely
right
bad.
situation, he can
General,
surpass him.
but ultimately is still a really good player. Can receive really well, and is also just a ferocious blocker. And so when you add on his blocking compared to some of these other guys on the list who are
Who is
maybe
finna be a 3?
receiving guys, that's why I decided to put him.
That's wild. That's wild. This is wild. So it got to be Trey McBride, George Kittle, and Brock Bowers. I don't know in what order, but the fact that David Njoku is not on here is wild.
At 3. Excuse me, that's why I put him at 4. My number 3 pick.
If David Njoku is
is
not
a
on here,
guy
that's
who I'm going to
wild.
kind of go against that because I'm talking about blocking. But okay, listen, when you win All Pro as a rookie, like you got to at least be top 3, right? I mean, ultimately. Again, is not the blocker that you would maybe want, but the guy had 1,100 yards as a tight end, and he's a young player. The blocking's going to develop over time. The blocking is, and just the 1 year thing, is why he's only at 3, but like, he was debatably the best in the league last season, so because of that, yeah, I'm going to put him here at 3, and you could argue he should be higher. Number 2, who I really did
Trey
consider
McBride.
putting at number 1 because he can block as well, is Trey McBride, who still had
It's a good tight
over
end.
1,100 receiving yards last year. Only 2 touchdowns. Took him a while to get the touchdowns. He's not a touchdown guy, but ultimately does so much else so well. I have to put him at least at top 2. One of the real underrated players, and was honestly the Cardinals' best offensive. Well, him or James Conner, but I'd say he was the best offensive piece for the Cardinals last year. He's a fantastic player.
I'm gonna have to watch some
But
James Conner
number
highlights
1,
soon.
I am still going George Kittle, the guy who's had over 1,000 yards receiving back-to-back years, while being maybe the best blocking tight end in football. With Travis Kelce kind of taking a couple steps back, to me, you have to keep Kittle.
That's a lot of steps
number
back.
1.
I ain't gonna lie. You put him
At
at
least, we'll see. McBride
9.
and Bowers are right behind him, trying to catch up. But for now, I got to give it to Kittle, the guy who's been doing it for a while. So,
Bro, they're again, all respect to Jonnu Smith, Isaiah Likely, Dallas Goedert, but they not better than David Njoku right now. I like Jonnu. I ain't gonna lie. Jonnu's tough, but and then who? Evan Engram. That's another one for sure. Legit, bro.
yeah,
I don't know if he's factoring in blocking and receiving, and that's like making him decide. But it's interesting.
those are my top 10 tight ends. Let me know in the comments below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? What would your list be? Always love hearing from y'all.
I'm glad you're giving Likely and Mark respect. As long as Likely included, Likely, everybody love Likely. Tucker Craft absolutely snubbed. Tucker Craft is not a top 10 tight end. No offense to Tucker Craft. Like what you're doing, man. Like your buddy in Green Bay as well. The other tight end, he nice too, but nah. Cade Otton. Oh, that's a good honorable mention. Oh wow. Cade Otton, that's a good one. I forgot about him. Ben Sender at number 1 is unexpected. Dang. Somebody else said Tucker Craft again. Tucker Craft. Bowers is a good blocker. I'm confused. Interesting, bro. Get mid tiny. You think Auden? I think Auden is a good honorable mention for sure. That's a good honorable mention. Well, YouTube, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed.